Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Tier 4 Round 5 here in SKG Season 16. We are here for the Singapore Grand Prix. This is a very fast, well, fast now, considering what it was a few seasons ago when obviously we did have the multiple corner changes, especially now we have that, well, 4 DRS zones around this track, so it's quite a high-speed circuit. Being a street circuit also is very tricky with the walls very close. Anyway, we are here for qualifying, and that is to set our grid. And yeah, bit of a late start compared to what we're used to. But yeah, let us hopefully get underway very shortly, and yeah, we will be with cars coming out on the circuit, and we can get this underway. I'm going to turn the volume down just a tiny bit so I can actually hear myself think. So yeah, Marina Bay, 31 laps ahead of us. It's a very, for how long the track is, I'm really surprised how many laps we have to do here. With the deletion of the well, a few little S section in the final sector, this cut the lap counter down from I think what was 27 in the older games to 29, I think, down up to 31. So it's a very it's a long lap, and it is a very long and very well. If you're on a wheel, it will cause problems. And that's why have I been pinged? What's happened? Need to get someone in the lobby. Alright. Let's get on with this, shall we? The Haas of... I never know how to pronounce his name. I should have probably checked in a DM for him, but you know what? I'm just going to call him JG, as we did 2 weeks ago. And he is the first man that will be starting a lap here around Singapore. So we'll ride a ball with the Haas and see how he goes. He chucks it into what is, I believe, turn 4, I want to say. Now down our second of 4 DRS zones, down into third gear for the left hand. Now he's going to start probably down into second gear. Gets the car nicely rotated there into the, what is it, 90-degree right-hander. Into this tricky left-hander. You can run wide there and it will bite you on the outside. Now down into the very famous, well, what was Singapore Sling. Or is it back to the right-hand side? Ooh, hesitates a bit, runs over the curb. Over the bridge, has a car on the left hand side getting out of the way now nicely. That is his teammate. No, it isn't. That is a Mercedes. I am colourblind. And he's now down, going now another DRS zone, and then it's followed up by this right-hander, and then we are onto what is the final DRS zone of the lap. So plenty of overtaking opportunities with DRS around here. So fingers crossed we get some fantastic racing. He's now down into the final few corners. What has been a pretty solid lap. Definitely room for improvement for the Haas, and he throws it into the final corner and spins and almost dives into the pit lane and very narrowly escaping a DNF there, or yeah, a crash. As yeah, he comes over the line, does a 31.2 that then eclipsed by Flash doing a 29.5. And yeah, that was very lucky for the Haas with time. People coming over the line now with track probably improving. As Kane's in on at 29.169. Very nice. As the other Williams of Watch Me Explode, that is a name, it goes into P4 with McLaren going over the line, and there is another Ferrari. It's going to be GB Sanson, and there is a McLaren actually, Nout. who I believe is the championship leader. I'm not entirely sure on that, as he's going across the line, goes into P2. Still about 3.5 tenths, 4 tenths behind the Ferrari, so the Ferrari putting a lovely lap on the board. And his teammate, GB Sanson, over the line on. He goes on to a 29.7. As, oh wow. And the Pro goes a second faster than the Ferrari of Keynes. That is a lap and a half from the V-Carb. Put him top of the times as, ooh. Was that Red Bull on a lap? Who was that? Or have they just finished? I think they actually just finished it. It was Nagrom, yes it was. So thankfully for Ander Pro, he was not on a lap, but still that would have been very bad, as we see in the background. He crashes out. What happened there? He wasn't even on the lap. Ander Pro deciding that he is done for the day, or just an error. But what? Yeah, he's out of the session already. So Ander Pro happy, maybe. Yeah. All right. Cool. So pole sitter has retired from the session, and we still have, well, a little under 12 minutes left to go. So yeah, Hastaz, who we're watching at the moment, has slotted into P2 on a 28.6. So still half a second behind the current best, which is a phenomenal lap. I mean, I don't think I could even do a 28.1. Like, genuinely, I don't think I could ever achieve something like that. As a Smirky Lockett over the line on 29.0, still 9 tenths behind Ander Pro's current best. Insane. Oh, he's comfortably locking himself a place into Tier 3 with a lap like that. Oh, Lord. But yeah, can anyone beat that? Still have quite a few cars yet to set lap times. That includes Mark Civic, TDR Gurv, Eric, Kevin Cow, NASCAR Freak, and Samuel Austin yet to set times on the board. As Gurv will be pitting. Kevin Cow is on the lap. Mark Civic has validated, so he will be pitting. So it'll be the Kick Sauber, the next man to put a time on the board out of our bottom 6. As around the double left-hander of the final corner, he goes up to P6, about 10th behind Nagrom in P5. Solid lap from the Kick Sauber, who did join a bit late there. So you see him repping the Gabriel Bortolesso helmet. Of saying I lagged out. Oh no. I don't think I even have him added, so hopefully someone will be able to get him back in. NASCAR Freak has invalidated. As welcome into the 17 viewers we have. All of a sudden we had 2 viewers on the stream, and all of a sudden it went up to 17. Lovely jubbly. No during the that's unlucky for Gurv. So that is why Gurv is in the pit lane. He unfortunately disconnected during his lap. That is very unfortunate. Hopefully, hope you finish that lap off soon. As yeah, cars emerging from the pit lane to start their second run of the session. About 9 minutes left. So cars will comfortably have enough time to do one more run and come in and then do the final runs. And can anybody beat what is already a phenomenal time from Ander Pro? I think it'd be good if someone does beat him. But if they do beat him, they are also going Tier 3. Without a doubt. Oh, that lap is, yeah, crazy. But anyway. Samuel Austin on a lap. NASCAR Freak on a lap. Eric on a lap. And I believe it will be Eric actually to cross the line first out of the guys that still haven't set a time. So we'll follow the Aston Martin. Hopefully not 4 seconds off the pace, but I think he is going to be down. No, he should be actually be okay. if you have watched preseason testing or heard anything from testing, you all know Aston Martin are apparently struggling very badly. It's hopefully not the case around here in Singapore. Eric ups the line. What will the time be? And he goes P2. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have a fight on our hands. Eric on a 28.2. Can he find any more, as he's now only a 10th behind to what already is a lovely lap from Antipro, but Eric with a phenomenal time to give us hope that there is a fight for pole position. So that's mine. Into P2. And the other one sitting last with a current invalidation. Gerv on an outlap. NASCAR Freak will be finishing his lap as he's round the final corner. And he goes onto a 30.6, so just ahead of his teammate, who I wouldn't say that's a representative time of JG's pace, but this lap should be better. As I look at this, as it's half a second up on what already is a 31.2, so probably wants to find a bit more time than that if he wants to get up there with the likes of Kainsen, Nagram, Kevin, and Nouts, for example. As he's round the final, well, I say, final braking zone of the circuit. As the Haas ups the line, takes the shortest run possible, and gains by 2.3 seconds, and comfortably puts himself into P4. And now, just as we were mentioning him, goes into 5th. Very, very marginally ahead of Smirky, who is on an outlap. And who can we keep an eye on here? We have Gerv, man that disconnected on his previous lap. And that is why he has not set a time on the board. We have yellow flags out. I think that's just Civet or somebody. Doesn't really matter. As can Gerv go any higher than what he's already P16 as he over the line now, and up to P5 goes the V-carb. So it's a current 1-5 for the Racing Bulls. They've been fantastically strong, well, phenomenally strong, should I say, here in Tier 4. And Antipro, well, and Gerv showing that they are maybe the best team here in Tier 4. But a lot of teams will want to prove them wrong, that is for sure. As there is only one car now that's yet to set a time, and that is this man, Samuel Austin. He's not being able to string a lap together, but he has got, well, probably two more attempts, I'd say. As cars are improving, I think that was somebody improving up to higher. I think that was Kainsen going up to P6. It was. As the other flags are out, that must be for Nout, I believe, coming into the pit lane. Yes, it is. There's a car going over the line. I think that is who would that be? I think that's a Williams. It is Flash. Flash, is he just improved, or did that timing get wrong? I believe Flash has just improved on his time by 4/10, so he's up onto 29.0. Second down in the first sector, so Flash definitely not on the lap. As Kevin improves by half a second, he goes up into P8, just ahead of Nout. So the Kick Sauber really showing some pace here this afternoon. Or this evening, shall I say. But for him, it will be afternoon. With him being from the USA. So yeah, 4 minutes left to go in the session, so time is ticking down. And we must keep an eye on this man, Eric. I'm on new pedals, so my pace is far off. So NASCAR Freak having new pedals, so just taking some time to adjust. That is why he is sitting down in P16. But with one Aston Martin currently sitting only a 10th behind pole position, the other one yet to put a time on the board. And only about, I'd say, 10 seconds behind on the track is the man who can probably fight for pole here, as everyone else behind is, well, a marginal amount. So you've got to keep an eye on Eric for maybe taking pole, as Samuel runs very wide there out of the Can't remember the corner number. I think that was turn 8. With the light flashing, is he actually going for this? I think he is using the battery, so... But behind on the racetrack, his teammate... Let's keep an eye on him, as he will be going through the Sector 3 split very shortly, so we'll have an idea if Eric is improving on what is already is a lovely lap on a 28.2. As he's through the bridge and round the hairpin, that looks ever so committed. Goes the Aston Martin. As we'll know in any second now, is he improving? He is by very marginally. He apparently has done a purple middle sector, but you never know if that is true or not. But he's now down through the final DRS zone on the circuit. Ron Bonneman into the final braking zone of the track as he goes a little bit deep there. That is going to cost him time as he uses the battery now, and he's going to go round the 2 final corners. He downshifts down to 5th, back up to 6th. Will it be pole position? Yes, it will! From Eric. And he goes on to pole on a 28.0. Lovely lap from the Aston Martin. Beats And Pro, who we thought had already done an unbeatable time that early on in the session. And Eric goes on to provisional pole and retires. So he is happy and comfortable with that lap, as his teammate did manage to get a lap on the board and is only sitting P14 with only a minute and a half to go. So yeah, everyone out on the circuit now has got to be quick with this, with the about a minute and a half lap. Will few of these guys miss the flag if we do have a hold up? With our front 2 currently DNF'd or crashed out of the session, so we say. Well, yeah, And Pro retiring and crashing out, and Eric obviously we just saw retired. So everyone out on a lap. I think one man that maybe not get a lap will be this man. As we have constant yellow flags, so we cannot see how long is left in the session, but it can't be very long. So GB may be under pressure here to get a final lap. He's certainly 15th, as there's 40 seconds left, so I think he might be okay, but it will be very marginal. If he is anyone in front of him that slows down, he will not make this. Yeah, 35 seconds. It's going to be marginal for the Ferrari, whether he gets a lap or not. You see in the on the mini-map there. So one time I'm not at home, my drivers are finally performing. As 20 seconds left, I don't think GB will make this. Just keep an eye on him. Actually, I think he might be okay. 10 seconds left now. I think he will make this, but there is a car ahead of him. That is a Mercedes, I think, of Hastaz. As GB over the line with 3 seconds left, he does make it. But behind, I think that is Flash will not. So Flash, yeah, a few cars being done here. Oh, Mark Civic has had an off there at turn 1. So Civic will not start any higher than P13. So the Red Bull down in 13th, unfortunately for him. And oh, there is a bit of contact there with a Hastaz, I think that is. Was that Hastaz? It must have been, yeah. Hastaz retiring also. Anyway, we need to keep an eye on what will be the fight for pole position. Maybe if anyone can beat that time from Mark, I was going to say Mark Civic, from Eric. Nagrom is improving by about 0.2 of a second in that middle sector as Kainzen goes over the line, goes into P3. Slots just ahead of Hastaz and just behind And Pro. What can the Red Bull do? We saw just now he was improving on his time. Can he beat the Ferrari that's just gone into 3rd place? As he goes a little bit... As he does actually, yeah, he does improve, but he has a wiggle through that final corner. As all in the background there, that is a McLaren spinning. That is now over the line and it's just spinning out over the start-finish line. And that is that for qualifying. Yeah. Sorry for the lack of enthusiasm, guys. My voice is kind of on and off day. But yeah, Eric on pole position from And Pro with Kainzen Lovely lap at the death to go third, and Nagrom in fourth, with Hastaz fifth, Gerv in P6. So Racing Bull starting second and sixth this afternoon. Lovely performance from them. As it'll be the race very, very shortly, where we have 31 laps ahead of us. It's going to be a very, very long race here this evening around Singapore. But there is your grid for round 5 here in season 16 of SKG. Quite a contrast for Red Bull, as they are sitting 4th and 14th here this evening. So yeah, Mark Sivers got some work to do if he wants to get up into the points and score some valuable points for the Red Bull team. But anyway, let us get onto the race. And I am not sure if my voice will be working by the end of it, but we will have to wait and see. And first of all, is it a dry race? It does look to be. That is a good sign. With it being Singapore and in the heart of a in a very changeable climate, shall we say, in real life. Probably not really represented well in the game, but you know, oh well. But yeah, just waiting now on the guys to sort out their strategies, tyres, and shouldn't be long before we go racing. I'm not too sure about the strategies around here. Can't remember the last time I raced, as yeah, we need to... Is it a one-stop round here or a two-stop? I assume probably one-stop. You have to manage tyres. One, okay. So it should be, so from Just Ali, we are going to assume it is a one-stop race. Mediums to hards. Let's see if anyone is brave enough to go for a soft. I'm sure nobody will, but you never know. You might have that one brave individual that decides to go very, very, very bold. Yes, it is time now then for the lights. The lights are coming on for the Singapore Grand Prix, and they are out, and we are underway. We have no sound, as there we go, the sound is on. Let's get the tyres up. That is not the tyres, as everyone has gone for the medium tyres, as Andapro and Eric are going side by side. We're watching on with Kainson, and they're still going side by side through turn 4. You see there's yellow flags out, there's carnage at the back. Yes there is, Adamako round, watch me explode, also having an incident. I think he's, he did disconnect actually, so he's not controlling his car. Flash it was, having an incident. But up at the front, Andapro has now lost out to Kainson, as Kainson's looking around the outside of the V-car. And he's still there. Will Kainson concede the position? No, he won't. He will stick his nose up the inside of the hairpin. There is another yellow flag out. I think, who was that? NASCAR Freak has had an accident. But at the back, it was a bit chaotic. But out at the front, Eric has got a lead by 0.8 of a second over the Racing Bulls, as the Williams has left the session. I don't know if that's a disconnect or just genuinely just don't want to do this no more. But the problem is I do not have him added, so I assume Reggie will do the magic. But yeah, like you see on the left-hand side, you see everyone on the yellow ring mediums. So we'll see a lot of people coming into the pits at the same time if it stays like this without a safety car. As up at the front, the gap is at 1.2 seconds, so Eric stretching his legs in the early stages, needs to be careful to save his tyres, as SKG Kainson, as he made a little bit of a mistake. Gap opened up a little, about a 1/10 and a half. As he looks to be okay for the moment. See if anybody has damage to the front wing. There obviously was a kerfuffle at the start with, I think, both Williams and Adamako, as well as NASCAR Freak, having some sort of incident. Everyone circulating for the moment. Up to what, about 1.5 seconds up at the front behind Nagrom, going for the move on SKG. Kainson hops over the curb and well, pretty much punts off the Ferrari. That was a little bit naughty. As Haas is trying to get in on the action, as Nagrom is he going to look for the move again? As the Red Bull looking extremely aggressive there. Now the gap to from Keynes to Anapro, it was about a second, but it's come down now. Let's go through the Singapore sling section, over the bridge and into the hairpin. A lovely camera angle there of the cars as Kevin Cow is ghosted, with JG ghosting through him. And now there in P10, currently only scoring 1 point there. Up at the front, the gap is, what has happened there to Anapro? The gap is up to nearly 2.5 seconds, and we are only on lap 2. So Anapro, maybe just, does he have damage on the car? Try and have a look. I think he's okay. So a good camera angle. Yes, he is okay. I think Eric is just flying as the gap is 3 seconds, and we're only on lap 3. So Eric has left already. So unless he makes a huge mistake, the battle for the win is gone. Yeah, on lap 3 now, DRS is enabled. Will the Ferrari be able to make a move on the racing bulls? Looks like he is not going to be for the moment. JG looking up the inside of what is a ghosted Kevin Cow. But Kevin ghosting for some reason. Just allows the Haas to drive straight through him. Which is, I don't know why he's ghosted. This is very odd. But in the background, oh wow, what's going on there? Is Civic, Adamaco and Jimmy Sanson were coming to blows. As, oh, Samuel Austin has gone off. As he is now down to the back. So one driver leading by 3 seconds, one of them, well, at the back by 3 seconds, so it's an Aston Martin sandwich for the whole grid. Yeah, Eric, well, look at, you can see the visible gap there. As the cars in the background are just already fading. In a few laps time, you won't even see them. As Eric is really, I don't know if he might just be over pushing his tyres and trying to just build that gap and save his tyres later on in the race, but at the moment he's doing a fantastic job of controlling the race. So at the moment it's Eric's race to lose, as, oh, in the background there, Haas getting very close to Nagrom. As, oh, the other Mercedes actually having a terrible run out of the first few corners. It's now gap over a second as yellow flag out. Is that NASCAR Freak? I believe it is, yes, I think it was. Please keep an eye on this as Gerv is going to look around the outside. We have terrible camera angles here. But Gerv does get past the Mercedes, who did not have DRS to the cars ahead of him. And now is down into P7. As JG looking for a move up the inside into the Singapore sling, but that's never a wise place to go for an overtake. It's this corner right here. If you're close enough and, well, you've got the confidence on the brakes, you may be able to send a lunge, just hoping that the car on the outside will not just turn in on you and take you both into the wall on the right hand side. But yeah, JG having to sit behind for the moment. The gap up the front, 3.5 seconds from Anapro to Eric, as Keyneson going to send one up the inside as, oh, runs over the curb, and yeah, a little bit of a wheel bag between the two cars. That was a little bit, maybe a little bit too far back for the Ferrari, but why not? Why not go for it? As Mark Stivitt will be the first man to pick up a time penalty, as Hastaz and Nagrom are fighting. I think Hastaz manages now to get through on the, I'll say, over-aggressive Red Bull from earlier. In the background, Smirky Lockhart having a bad run out of the first corner. Well, not first corner, first use sequence. There's a gap up to 4 seconds up at the front now. Oh lord, this race is... As you see there in the background, the car's just appearing, but there's nothing they can do with Eric sprinting clear. So if this continues, we may not be seeing Eric for the remainder of the race. The battle for the moment is if the P2, unless Eric does crash. As killer flag out, and oh my word, I thought that was for Eric. As it looks like Civet has had an off as he drops down to P15. So Civet, does he have front wing damage? You have a camera angle, which is awful. As he's understeering horribly, so I assume Civet has got some front wing damage, unfortunately. So the Red Bull really, really not liking the streets of Singapore, as Kane's in closer now to go for a move on Under Pro, and does so. And there we go, the Ferrari up into P2, and now can try and chase down the 5.2 second gap to Eric, which is just increasing drastically throughout the lap. As do we have a safety car? As Eric has... Wait, what? Yeah, we do have a safety car. Okay then, the race has been neutralized here on lap 6, and the safety car is out. I think... I don't know what that's for. NASCAR Freak having no front wing. So... yeah. Cars opting now to come into the pit lane. Sanson, Adamaco, Flash, Mark Civet, NASCAR Freak will obviously have to come into the pits, and Samuel, who just has pitted actually, is almost a lap behind, as there is his teammate directly behind him. So yeah, Samuel basically nearly a lap behind on lap 5, or lap 6 should we say, unfortunately for the Aston Martin. So yeah, it's been a great day for Aston Martin on one side of the garage, but on the other side, not too great. Anyway, yeah, under safety car now. Just waiting for the cars to come round and let the safety car pick him up. So yeah, there's not much we can really really watch now, apart from the cars just circulate round. As we did have a prediction in the chat from Just Ali saying, Risbo, bet on how many safety cars? Risbo said 5. So we are 1 out of 5 for the moment, and we are only on lap 6, so we have a chance. NASCAR Freak has actually retired, so as we have Under Pro actually coming into the pit lane. So he going for the, I'd say the undercut, but he's actually just going to lose in more positions. As I assume it'll be a set of the of the hards for the Spaniard. And yes, it will be. They are double stacking the cars. Obviously, being under safety car won't lose him as much time as it would during normal racing conditions, but it's not ideal for Under Pro, or not Under Pro, for Gerv. But yeah, there we go. And the Pro back out in P8. And Adamaco actually now the lead car on the hard tyres. So at the moment he would lead the race if obviously our front guys will have to pit at some point. We don't know when that'll be for the time being. On lap 31 I assume it would be probably I want to say lap 13 or 14, I want to say. I'm just guessing. Anyway, yeah, we are on lap 7 of 31, another 24 laps to go. Oh boy. And yeah, with Eric's pace, we'll have to see if he can just basically, well, the second safety car comes in, just run away like he did off the start. Had a little bit of battle with Under Pro going in through the first couple of corners, and well, since then he was just left. We haven't seen much of him since, but watching him now as he's well, currently P1. As I've only just noticed that we do have a difference in strategy with GB Sanson in the other Ferrari going for the medium tyres. So GB Sanson going for a what is now confirmed 2-stop. He obviously did start on the mediums. As I want to say, safety car will be in this lap. As well, I'll say the Red Bull and the Ferrari are catching up, but that Aston Martin is so far behind, unfortunately, that I'm unsure of whether or not he will catch up to safety car before it will come into the pit lane. But for his sake, we hope so. Yeah, with our front 5 staying out on the circuit, they are, well, depending on how well they have managed their tyres, they may be okay. But obviously the hard will become a better tyre over a period. But will that early pit stop actually hurt them later on in the race? That is something we will just have to wait and see. As I have an advert. I love having adverts. As we will know now, if the safety car is in this lap, as I think it's staying out for one more because of the Aston Martin. So it looks like we're going around for one more time. So what this is doing is just benefiting the guys that obviously did pit onto the hard tyres. It's just making them be able to save their tyres easily. And well, it'll take them longer into the race, but obviously they probably will. I don't know if they'll be able to pit to go to the end after pitting. Well, what was it, lap 6? 5, 6, or 7. They did pit to go onto the hard tyres. But we'll just have to wait and see if they can take them to the end. We'll definitely have to manage them come the end of the race. I'm confident of that, but only time will tell. The Aston Martin is coming over the line now to start lap 9 and finally start to see the pack ahead of him soon. After being pretty much a lap behind when the safety car came out, to now finally being able to catch up to the pack, and we should be going racing here at the end of lap 9 and start of lap 10. There we go. At last, the Aston Martin gets onto the back of the field, and should be very shortly now. We have the message from race control, as there we go. Safety car in this lap. It'll be Eric to dictate the pace of when we go back to racing. And will he just be able to run away like he did at the early phases of the race? Go on board with him. Get rid of that. You already know the order. We'll just listen for the Mercedes engine. We're here when he decides to go. Slowly weaving, trying to catch out the cars behind as he's going very slowly actually. As we are going at walking pace. As this is very, very slow for a safety car restart. This may get some complaints the cars behind, as he's gone now, and it's been a decent restart from Kainton as he's only a half a second behind, but through those final corners, will he lose time? Yes, he does. With the dirty air, Splash and Pro has changed positions, but they obviously can't overtake before the start-finish line. As will the Williams have to give that position back as he ghosts his way through like 3 cars there. Flash goes up into P5. Will he receive a penalty for overtaking before the line? I think he is okay for the moment, as it looks like Gerv and Smirky Lockett are going side by side down, I think this is called Raffles Boulevard. I want to say that's what it's called. As behind in the background, who is that? Watch me, watch me explode. Having a moment down the straight there, so As is he actually here? I don't think he is. As those steering inputs look very AI, so I think that was the AI of the Williams just having a nightmare. As we must have missed it, but now has had, I think, an incident as he's down to P15. So yeah, the McLaren down there, and he's got some work to do if he wants to, I think, keep the championship lead. I want to say he is championship leader, but don't quote me on that. Front four on the medium tyres. Nagrom, the well, no, obviously no, Flash, I should say, the lead hard runner. He is ghosted. I don't know why he is ghosted, but here we are. As DRS has now been enabled. Will Flash look for a move on the Red Bull? The light is flashing for Nagrom. As up the inside goes the Williams, and obviously being ghosted, he can just drive through the car in P4. Which I suppose is quite a luxury, I suppose, knowing that you don't have to risk having contact. But Kevin Cow was also ghosted, so cars just ghosting randomly here. I don't know what's going on there. But up the front, Eric has not been able to get away from Kainsen. Gap still under a second, which is good for us to see. Kainsen, I don't know if Eric just saving his tyres or saving his battery to then all of a sudden unleash an attack and just run away, what he did earlier on in the race. But was that just Ander Pro just really struggling, or was that Eric just having extreme pace? I guess we'll find out very shortly. And that was in P2. As looking up the inside of the McLaren as he barges in wide. And that was a little bit naughty from Ander Pro, but I think it was kind of a bit of a racing incident with Adam Akio. Just basically, I didn't think he saw him coming. In the background there, Gerv fighting with JG and Smirky Lockhart. As what is gone on there? Is that front wing damage for somebody? Oh, it's Nagrom, I think, has lost his front wing. Yes, he has done. So, and we have another safety car. As it's a Ferrari round. Kainsen's gone round. So something has majorly happened here, with Kainsen going round. Nagrom having his whole front wing snapped off. Thankfully no damage for the Ferrari, but he's now dropped down so many positions. It's Eric now gets a free pit stop basically on the safety car. But yeah, second safety car of the race, and we're only on lap 12. Oh no. Is it going to be one of them? But yeah. Safety car number 2 out of 5. As, out rejoins, maybe, so maybe he was disconnected. Yeah, everyone on the hard tyres apart from Nagrom, who obviously had that front wing damage. JG, Mark Sivert, and the Williams going for the soft tyres. What on earth? Unless that is his AI putting him on those. As yeah, it is unfortunately an AI. So unfortunately for him, he is down in last but on the soft tyres. I'll be back in a minute, guys. I'm just going to go grab myself some water, as we are under safety car, so yeah, should be long. Right, we are back, and yeah, waiting for what the hell is going on there in P15? We have a car with no name. Oh, what the fripp? We have apparently two lots of JG on the little timing screen on the top right. He's in two positions at the same time. No idea what's going on there. This lobby has been a bit... Yeah. I don't know what's going on there. As Flash trying to go wheel to wheel with the safety car there. Around the hairpin. As will it come in this lap, it might do actually. With the Haas, well, not too far behind, but he is there. I think it might be a late call. Will it be going around for one more lap? I think it probably will be. Yeah, we are going to be going around for one more lap here. I don't know how many laps we've already spent under safety car in this race, but it's certainly a few. So it's 3 laps, and I think this is number 3, so I think we spent about 6 laps in total under safety car. Oh. Singapore being chaotic as always. There we go. Message from race control once again that we are going to be back green flag racing very, very shortly. It'll be the Williams of Flash to take us back with where is Eric? There he is. Eric in P8 and Pro. Well, man that was on pole position earlier on this afternoon, but obviously with Eric then putting in an astonishing lap to retake the pole position. We Flash to let us know when we go back to racing, as it looks like he's gone now and has caught Pro a little bit napping there, as the gap is already nearly a second. So yeah, maybe the V-Carb just sleeping on that restart, or just not having the tyres fired up. But yeah, here we go then. Back Samuel Austin looking to move it up the inside of Smoky Lockhart, but he's on the oldest of our hard tyre runners, on 10 lap old. Obviously he pit under that, well, before the first safety car, so yeah, his tyres, I'll be surprised if they make them to the end. We need to keep an eye on Eric as he's there in P8. He'll be looking to make as much progress as he possibly can and get back up into the race lead where he was obviously previously. As he's going to send one up the inside of Nout in the McLaren. This would be a fantastic move if you can get this done, as Nout fights it back up the inside, but does compromise his run, and Eric gets through, and as does Hastaz actually. So now compromising his run so much that lets the Mercedes go through. As Adam Mako has managed to get past and Pro, so the Spaniard falling down behind the McLaren now. So yeah, he really must not be enjoying this this circuit here. The gap up at the front is actually 1.5 seconds, so who's in the background there? That's Samuel and Eric. Nearly swapping positions. I think Samuel will let Eric go through, will he? Yes, he does. The Aston Martin plays the team game and lets his very, very rapid teammate go through, and well, he actually try and hold up the cars behind, which obviously is Kevin Cow, Taz now, and Kainzen, who was sitting in P2, obviously before our second safety car. He's down in P11 after obviously having that spin. It'd be good to know what happened to him, but it really compromised his race, as yeah, he's down a lot further down than he would have liked. But there's a Nagrom up the inside of now being sent 2 corners in a row, as he gets sent on this corner up the inside of Eric. He's looking to get overtaken around the outside actually by Eric. Not Eric, Nagrom. As always, he contact there and almost spins the McLaren round. And he's going to now lose out to Gerv, and will Gerv look at him? Look at air. My mouth is brain having a mare, unfortunately. But yeah, now losing out to Gerv as well, so getting passed by 2 Red Bull branded cars, as he has another one behind him, Mark Civic, who we haven't seen much of this race, as he fakes an look up the inside, as Kainzen and there's, I think Samuel Austin's had some sort of moment as he's dropped down into P15, so he was running in P5, or P4 should we say, but unfortunately he's down into P15 now, and hopefully he can just stay on the back of this train and maybe get some points if people get penalties ahead of him. Who is that? And the pros actually come into the pit lane, so is there damage on the Racing Bulls? Or is he just struggling that much that he needs to go into the mediums? As yes, there is a bit of damage on the front wing of Ander Pro, so huge turning point in maybe even the championship or the race, with the Racing Bulls into the pit lane with Eric, well, about 2 seconds behind, or 3 seconds behind the current race lead of Flash, and Eric looking very comfortable with 6 lap newer tyres than the cars ahead of him, so we'll have a huge advantage. As Eric going to get the move done on the McLaren of Adam Acker and swoops back to the racing line, as I'm going to not do that. There we go. So Eric up into P2, and he knows he has to gain 1.7 seconds to, well, retake the race lead that he looked so comfortable with earlier on in the race, building the gap out to about 5.5 seconds, I think, at the total. But can Flash use the pace now of the Williams and, well, try and get this win? We have 12 laps remaining in the race. No, 13 laps remaining, shall I say. That's the yellow flag out. What has gone on? Who has had an accident? It's Nagrom. Nagrom, who had the damage that caused our second safety car, has had some sort of incident as he is down into 13th. And we'll have to see if he has any more damage. I think it looks to be okay front wing wise for the Red Bull. And the Pro picks up a 3-second time penalty, so his day is going from bad to worse, unfortunately. As Eric has really put the pressure on now. Flash gap comfortably under a second, so Eric, it's only a matter of time now before the Dutchman just gets past the Williams. As you see, the gaps come down so quickly through that sector, so Eric must be running extremely high front wing. Is it going to be an easy slam dunk move with the DRS? Flash positions his car on the left hand side, doesn't defend the inside as Eric goes extremely deep And well, Flash easily takes back that race lead. Eric a bit too over-ambitious on the brakes and just carrying a bit too much speed there as Flash takes back the lead with Eric, making a bit of a mistake there. As there is a Mercedes in the pit lane. So he will be going onto the medium tyres, which will take him to the end. And he does have to actually change his front wing, so unfortunately for the Mercedes, unlucky for him. And Nagrom, as well as... I forgot the name of the Williams. I genuinely forgot the name of the Williams because it's just telling me this called his name's Nagrom. Watch me explode. That's the one. Yep. Well, we completely missed it, but there was a change for the lead. Looks like Eric has managed to cleanly and comfortably get the move done. As GB Sanson actually retires from the race. And what's happened to the Ferrari? As he has gone onto the outside wall, and that is our third safety car of the race. And possibly having an incident with Mark Civic, who doesn't have a front wing. So this race just turned into absolute chaos with 3 safety cars now. As Civic crashes out. Oh my word. So that is, well, 2 DNFs in the span of about 30 seconds, so Civic's gonna hate me the fact I caught that on the stream. Oh, but yeah, that is now one of the Red Bulls out of the race, and the other one, sitting down in P14. So yeah, unlucky for GB Sanson. I think he would have been good for a point or a few points, but unfortunately, it will come to nothing. As him and Mark Civic are now the 2nd and 3rd DNF of the race. And 3 safety cars now on the circuit. And, well, people taking the opportunities to pit, so that'll be going onto a set of mediums. As, Flash has gone to a new set of hards actually, so Flash maybe, he's going for the safe option, knowing that the tyres will definitely last, but is it the fast option? I don't think it will be. I think the mediums probably would be okay, but I guess he has gone for the harder tyre allocation, and as Mercedes getting a drive-through penalty there, so he's been a bit naughty as he does just retire, so he's call it quits. Now it's on the circuit. There's the car on the right hand side just slowing down, so unfortunately he's given up. So 2 cars opting for, or 3 should I say, opting for the fresh hards. Flash, Hastaz and Adamako, with Kevin Cow and Kaneson going for the mediums, so those 2 going aggressive and the other guys going conservative. So we have to see which group of cars will it pay off for. Oh Lord. I do want to say we are going to be going back racing next lap, but with with Eric down in P13 as well as sitting in P1, well, hopefully that car gets caught up as JG disconnects from the session. So let's try and get him back in. If I can find him on my rather large friends list. And he's like popping up. Incredible. as I'm hopeful that the Williams will catch the back of the pack. And we'll be racing very shortly. Yeah, Eric in the lead, as well as Gerv on those 9-lap old hard tyres, so obviously they will be a disadvantage to now the 5 cars behind that are obviously on the fresh tyres, fresh hards and fresh mediums. We'll have to see what happens. For the guys on the mediums, will they just, well, they'll probably try and go aggressive and just try and get to the front as quick as they possibly can. So they don't want to cause another safety car, so that would be incredible. But we're only 2 safety cars away from Rismo having predicted it perfectly, with 5 safety cars. So this just made this race just so much longer. I hate everyone for it. As safety car going around for one more lap, unfortunately. So this race is going to last 2 hours. Oh. The game is actually pit JG. What tyre is it going to put him onto? I'm going to say it's probably going to put him onto the softs. It's put him back onto a 12-lap set of hards. Oh no. That's just, oh no, oh, that's horrible. The game has royally fucked over JG here. Put him back onto a 12 fucking lap old hard. Oh no. That's brutal. That's horrible. Why would it do that? Oh. I assume it's... Yeah, he's not even in the session. Oh. Oh. He's just been kicked in the balls. Holy crap. Anyway. As he rejoins now, but if he's watching the stream, I'm sorry that you've had to go through that, because that's rough. But anyway, we have to keep an eye on the front, as safety car will be in this lap, thank God. And unless we have 2 more, then hopefully there should be a sprint to the finish. There'll be 8 laps remaining in the race. The mediums versus hards. We'll just have to wait and see. Race control, safety car in this lap. So for the 3rd time, or 2nd time in the race, it'll be Eric to dictate the pace. Take us back to green flag racing with Gerv in 2nd on also the same life of tyres than Eric. So Eric will hope that Gerv can hold up the guys behind. Yeah. Let's go again. Is Eric going down into neutral? Eric really loves a slow restart as... Ooh. Samuel Austin getting a penalty as he's going at walking pace. As he goes now, and, well, Gerv has left. He has caught the V-Carb absolutely napping, but he stayed within a second, has the racing balls. Will there be any moves into turn 1? It looks like everyone's going to stay single file. As actually Ander Pro and Kainzen are going to go side by side. Kainzen getting overtaken by the Spaniard, who is on the older hards. So you expect the mediums to be fired up, but maybe the Ferrari just not having the heat in the tyres to, well, attack. But Ander Pro definitely did. We have to keep an eye on Flash, as he is the man on the freshest tyres that is closest to the front. The car's ahead, saving the battery up. As the yellow flag is out, what has gone on? Who has had an off? Is that... I don't know who that was. Probably not yellow flag, but... Anyway, we will move on. As Eric goes a little bit deep there into the hairpin. Maybe going to get an opportunity here with obviously DRS not being opened yet, but Eric not being able to run away for the moment. At from Gerv to Flash. Very, very close to be being changed from Flash in P2 and Gerv in P3. As will he be able to get the switch back here out of the little twisty section there as Gerv holds it round the outside. This will be a phenomenal defense from the Racing Bulls. I think he has. But remember, as he defends the inside, positions his car lovely on the middle of the circuit. And Flash does actually go into the back of the Racing Bulls out of turn 3. So he's not having the traction, but DRS is now enabled. So this is where it gets spicy, ladies and gentlemen. Will any move be done? As we're riding the ball with Kevin Coward, Ghost through us does and a pro, and he's got another Ghost car ahead of him. So it'd be easy overtakes for the Racing Bulls as he can just ghost his way through. Yeah, there we go. He's ghosting his way through out of Mako currently. Got a helicopter shot. We just see them going inside each other. As they're still inside each other. As now it retires. As no. Oh, we have another safety car. We have a 4th safety car of the race. Oh, bro. Yeah, Rizvo in the chat. 1 to go. That is. Oh, God, dude. I feel like I've aged 2 years or 3 or 4 years on this race already. Please, guys. Chill out. But yeah. At 24 out of 31. Safety car out. For the 4th time. Oh, Baku's. Wait, Baku's on the calendar. Oh. Eric fakes it for move to the inside. And. Here's a penalty. What have I just seen? What? Eric, what have you done? What? Eh? As he's gone for the softs, understandably, but I don't know what that strategy was. Fake to the inside, and then Gerv cut him off, and then he just go. Eh? That's something from Eric. Unfortunately for him, he did cut the pit entry line, so that might be a penalty. Well, it might be. So I think it will be. But Gerv now is the lone man ahead of the field on 13-lap old hards. But Eric on the fresh softs as well as JG. So JG managing, yes, to get off those hards and go onto the softs. As Rizmo being wild in the chat. Telling somebody to be a good boy. Crazy. But yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on Eric. Safety car won't be out for that many laps, but this race has felt like it's gone on for just forever. And thankfully, I hope you hope it can't get any worse than 4 safety cars, but we only have a 5th. I'm scared we're going to have another one. I really am worried. Anyway. Eric has caught the pack. He is down in P10. He's got 9 cars to overtake if he wants to get back the lead that she threw away and obviously got a penalty for cutting the pit entry. And I think we'll probably get a penalty off the from the stewards for doing that. So safety car will come in end of lap 26, start of lap 27. So there would still be time for a 5th safety car. Just throwing it out there. I beg one of you doesn't just personally crash and I will actually find you. Like, actually. Yeah. Oh. You have to say, Eric, who we saw earlier on in the race, the pace is phenomenal from the Aston Martin. Now he's on the softs compared to everyone else being on the older tyres. I think Eric will, unless something dramatic happens, will carve his way through the field like a hot knife through butter. We'll have to wait and see. Gerv in the chat while leading the race saying, what the hell is he doing? And yeah, we'll have to see what happens to Eric. Ali saying medium soft die at 3 laps in. So Eric may have done a bad one. I have no idea about what is the good strategy around here, but we'll just assume that Eric is going to go fast, maybe a lap. Can he get through 9 cars in 1 lap? We'll see. I'm sure Eric will be on the aggressive. We are on lap 26. It will be the start of lap 27 very, very shortly. And it's Gerv. What is going on here? Got some position changes. At the back, I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, Gerv up at the front after being second on our last restart. Is now his chance to lead the race and take us back to racing for the 4th time here this evening. This race has gone on for far too long. It's been going on for an hour and, well, I want to say just over an hour now. Flash ghosting. As Gerv goes just where Eric did last time. As here we go then. Hopefully that was it for safety cars, and we are going to race for the final time. Four final laps. It's going to be Hastaz versus Flash for P2. Hastaz just ghosts his way through the Williams as they're both on the same life of tyre, so it'll be equal performance for those guys. But Andapro may steal one here, but he obviously has that penalty. We will check penalties actually. We haven't done that all race. As I've gone the wrong way. As everyone on 3 seconds, we have Hastaz, Andapro, Nagrom and Eric. All with penalties. Only being 3 seconds. Hastaz looking at the inside of what is a ghosted car, so realistically he doesn't need to. All he's doing now is compromising his own run by moving off the racing line. Down further back we have Eric versus Nagrom. Nagrom, another car which is just constantly being ghosted. He's got another one ahead of him, Kevin Cal, but he's got to deal with Keynes in first. And he was racing earlier on in the race. Trying to set up for a good run out of the hairpin. And doesn't get a great one. Will he send one? Yes, he will. Eric sends one up the inside. And on the soft tyres, you have to say he just has to go for something like that. Keynes, there was a little bit of contact, wheel-to-wheel contact, but Eric has gotten through for the time being. As Keynes sends one up the inside of Eric and bumps the Aston Martin a little bit there. Keynes giving him a taste of his own medicine. But as we're going to cross the line, DRS is going to be enabled, and Gerv really has a task on his hands to hold off Flash and the Mercedes. As Flash gets a penalty actually. So Adamako, if he stays, well no. Yeah, Gerv is going to be okay actually for the time being, unless he does lose the race win. There we go, DRS enabled now for the Williams and the Mercedes. As will the Williams just get through on the racing balls? Yes, he does, but Gerv, obviously being ghosted, has picks up 6 seconds worth of penalties as he gets through on Flash, as they're just ghosting inside one another, as all of a sudden here comes Andapro through Flash, and then they're inside each other. That's not the first time I've said that this evening. As Eric, all of a sudden, is just here, fighting with Flash, who's dropped like a stone all of a sudden. He was up in P2, he's now down to P5. So Flash, obviously with the ghosting, it's just, everyone's ghosting inside each other. What's going on? Oh, God's sake. As Eric sends one up the inside of Andapro, he's now up into 3rd. Eric may even get the win here. Obviously, he's got a penalty that I think is going to come to him after the race as he hits the back of Gerv and breaks his front wing. Eric breaks his front wing, and how much damage does he have? As my voice is going. Oh my god. Eric, yeah, with the damage. Oh, my voice is so gone. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be able to hold on here, but out of the front, Hastaz is managing to pull second But Gerv, all he has to do is stay within that 6-second gap. Oh, all he has to do is just not get a penalty, and he's going to be okay. But obviously, for the time being, he's not within a second. But he's got Eric just now ahead of him, as well as Flash. As Flash ghosts his way through on the Racing Bulls, but he is okay for the time being. He's perfectly okay. It's him versus Adam Acko actually for the race win, as it stands, with none of these guys taking penalties. But the cars ahead and around of them do have the penalties. Eric, even with the wing damage that he has, well, how much damage does he have? He only lost his right side end plate, so it's not too bad in terms of damage. But actually, yeah, Adam Acko's managed to clear Gerv, so Adam Acko currently in the race winning position. All he has to do is just not get a penalty, and he will take the victory here. Unless we have some drama to happen, which, well, you wouldn't put it past him, especially with this how this race has gone. As someone has fallen back. I think that might have been JG actually. Kevin Cow and Gerv are ghosting through another. But Gerv down to P7. Gerv has had a nightmare. He was running in the race winning position, but now Adam Acko could comfortably get this. He just needs to hold on for another lap and well, 2 laps basically. As I heard a crunch into the wall. Who's that gone off? JG has had, yeah, an incident there as he's lost, I think, his whole front wing. Yes, he has. So Haas going off into the wall. As it's Flash versus Eric, but it's hardly a race when you're still just ghosting inside one another. As Eric's running very wide with that front wing damage. As they're just ghosting inside one another. It's hard to follow what the hell's going on. But Adam Acko also ghosted, so Adam Acko could just drive his way through Eric if he wanted to. And there we go, they're just going to drive. What is going on? Yep, there goes the McLaren driving his way through the Aston Martin. They're just, what? Why is everybody ghosted? I'm so confused. But Eric with the DRS on the Williams, but because of the ghosting, it's not going to really do anything. There's no slipstream when you're ghosted. But then, oh, what's going on? There's the 3 cars inside one another. Sort it out, ref. As Adam Acko is up now into a clear position where we can see the car behind these two, just constantly inside one another. They can't get out of each other. Like, oh, it just sounds so bad. But we are on the final lap of the race after what has been a race that's seemingly lasted forever. I pray for whoever's commentating Tier 3 and Tier 2 that it's not as bad as this, and I just realised I'm commentating Tier 1 again. So I pray for my own sanity. It is good. Eric getting another penalty, so that's 6 seconds on his conscience. This man here is on course to win the race, bar any penalties, and if he does, then hang on a minute. Let's get up the Kevin Cow. If they win the race, if Adam Acko picks up a penalty in the final sector, which is frankly a very weird statement to say, but I think for the moment he might be okay, as there's not many opportunities to cut the corners here. But Kevin Cow on for a podium here at round 5, but up at the front, Taz, well, he took the race lead away from Flash, but he's done a great job to hold it, but unfortunately, with his 6 seconds worth of penalties, it will not be Flash, it will be Adam Acko in the McLaren winning here in Singapore, with Kevin Cow taking a podium, Keynes coming home in 3rd, and thank God that is over. Oh my God, that was a race and a half. Well, God, yeah. There we go. Flash coming home in 4th. Gerv on 20 lap old hard tyres, so he pit lap 11. to go onto his tyres, and he stayed on them the entire race, so he's done a great job to manage them to the end. Comes home in, I think it was P5, I want to say, or P6. Let's just wait to find out if that was true. As yeah, Gerv in 5th, Hastaz, well, crossing the line in 1st, but ending up in P6, and a pro in P7, and then Eric in P8, after obviously we thought what would be an easy win for Eric, but with 4 safety cars, it really wasn't, with Nagrom in P9 and Samuel taking the final point of the race, so the good ending for him, obviously after starting what was last, and well, almost being a lap down, still gets a single point. And yeah, JG finishing out the points, as well as Naut, with yeah, these guys having the DNFs. And yeah, what a race, guys. Oh my god. I'll grab race director. It's gonna be a long one. Actually, it's not even too bad. For how chaotic that race was, that's quite short, to be honest. But yeah.